Hey, it's Jordan Olson, and yesterday I got a deck of Andrew Huang's The Book of Chances. I made a short Instagram video of myself opening the deck, and Andrew himself commented on it, so I figured I'd better make use of them. The Book of Chances is a deck of playing cards, but it's also so much more than that. In the upper right corner of the cards, there are scale degree chord symbols. In the bottom left, there are pitch class names. In the bottom middle, there are 4 dots with some dots colored in at random. At the top middle, there are verbal inspirations, and the background of each card is some sort of art that always somehow relates to the words at the top. I started out by shuffling the deck and removing the top 4 cards, which turned out to be the 2 of hearts, the 10 of diamonds, the jack of diamonds, and the 4 of clubs. The chords on these cards are minor 2, minor 4, major 3, and major 4. Sitting down at the piano, I came up with this. I think the pitch class symbols are meant to be used as a key or as a melody if you string them together, but I decided to play around with them as B section chords. Also for the B section, I decided to use the dots as the harmonic rhythm. Interpreting the colored in dots as beats, that sounds like this. I also recorded the A section thing in a higher register that I originally intended to be an ending, but I ended up using it at the end of the A section. I wanted to hear what these chords would sound like played by a string section, so I used some Spitfire strings to play this. I wanted to add a bit more depth to the bass line outlined by the left-hand piano part in the second half of the A section, so I doubled it with some Spitfire double basses and a cool electric bass tone that I discovered recently. I wanted to make use of the mandolin that I got last year, so I played the A section chords in 3-note voicings with the colored dot rhythm. I also decided to throw in my own personal motif of 3-5-1-2 into this track, so I hummed it in 3-part voices with 5 voices per part. I knew I wanted some sort of transition between the A and B section, and as it so happens, the last chord in the A section is a fifth above the first chord in the B section. So I wrote a descending arpeggiated 5-7 thing in 4-part vocal harmony. I also ended up adding a falling tree, riser, and impact. Yesterday, I felled a tree with an axe and recorded the sound of it falling. That sounds like this. I took just the first part of that sound and used one of my favorite riser techniques on it. If you duplicate the track a couple times and slow one of them down to half speed and another down to quarter speed, and line them back up, you get a sound that not only exponentially grows in volume, but also rises in pitch. I also rendered some reverse reverb for that, and made a send to a longer reverb that I then rendered out. And here's the final result. And there's a plane or a helicopter flying over my house currently. Although this was not technically inspired by the cards, I think it qualifies for the break something on the Four of Clubs. On to the B section. Listening to the piano part, I was feeling some Radiohead vibes, and I decided to add some double-tracked warm and fuzzy guitar parts. And I added an electric bass part. As well as some drums that match the kind of off-kilter harmonic rhythm. I felt like it'd be cool to have some element that remained constant against the off-kilter harmonic rhythm, so I recorded a cymbal, and then afterward I reversed the first 4 hits to add to the riser into this section. I was also hearing this trumpet melody that I played on some Spitfire trumpets. Listening back to it, I felt that there wasn't quite enough high-end content, and that the impact wasn't lasting long enough, despite the fact that the falling tree reverb was set to 199 seconds, so I decided to add some white noise in a way that I've not done before. First, I rendered some white noise and made it stereo, and then I gradually slowed down the audio over the course of the section so it has this constantly falling sort of sound to it. And with that, here's the entire track in its current state. Perfectly happy with where it's at, but I was feeling very done working on it, so I decided I'd just go ahead and make this video on it. I probably won't release it on streaming services anytime soon because I don't really like releasing singles, if you couldn't tell. So if you have any ideas of what to add to this track or how to change it, leave those suggestions in the comments below. And if you like what you heard, be sure to check out my other stuff on this channel or on my main channel, which I will link in the description. Soli Deo Gloria!